you still have it set at 5? Or...
No. Smile. Smile for the people. Smile.
You still have it set at 5?
Just a second, guys. I'm getting things set up. I'm so sorry we're late. There we go. Okay. Cool. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the horror show. I'm Cecil Laird.
Bienvenidos, I'm Jaime and Fuego.
Can you hear us okay?
Yes.
What's up, Nolan, the Giants fan? My faves.
Woo!
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that.
Yes, gracias.
Good to see you back in the chat. Appreciate you being here as often as you are. And we are here to talk. Well, I guess I should do the intro. Let's wait and let everyone filter in just a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll get some people in the chat. I know it's Saturday at 4 p.m. or
on a holiday weekend.
6 p.m. on a holiday weekend. We might not have the biggest viewership, but that's okay.
Yeah.
They can watch us later.
Indeed, see.
All right, so yes, we are here to discuss our top 10 most anticipated horror movies of 2024, of which I had, like, when we started to come up with when I thought, okay, we need to do this list, I was like, I don't know how we're going to do it. I don't remember very much being announced for next year specifically. And then I asked you to compile a list, and the list is like 20 or 30 items strong already. And like a bunch of them are big IP. Yeah. Like it's
and some of which probably did not make either of our lists, most notably Ghostbusters.
Well, spoilers.
Sorry.
But yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's a big year coming up.
Yeah. What messed things up, I think, a little bit was the actor strike, and the actor,
Yes.
like all that stuff, and the fact that release dates started shifting around because of both the writers and the actor strikes, respectively.
It's actually not unlike the reason. So COVID happened, and the delivery of video games really slowed down, but 2023 was like the first year of delivery on video games that had been delayed through COVID. So 2023 has been like the biggest year in video games in many, many years.
Yeah, it gave them a lot more time to refine stuff, I would imagine, behind the scenes, because, I mean, games already take like 3 to 5 years a lot of the time anyway, so
and I think
Baldur's Gate would not be as great if not for all that extra time, maybe.
Indeed. And I think it's a similar sort of thing with the films of 2023, because a lot of them were on hold due to COVID, and then the strikes kind of slowed things down for people. More for people coming in the future.
Yeah, I think less for independent horror films though.
Yes,
more so than like big budget sort of stuff. And I mean, then this is a horror channel, obviously.
What's going on? And just Eric, what's going on? Good to see you guys.
Totally off topic. I haven't got the chance on air to ask you about this.
Oh boy,
Jonathan Majors.
Oh, we're going there right away?
No, I'm curious.
No, I mean,
honestly.
Look, he was convicted, so...
No, I mean, what Marvel does, less about him and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm just really curious, man.
I think they did Kang a disservice anyway.
Kang and they just,
I think they sidestepped Kang, and they either... And I saw someone put this on Twitter, but I had the same idea. Like, what they should do is have a post-credits scene where the Council of Kangs are convening, and fucking Dr. Doom steps through a portal and destroys them all. And like, let's make Dr. Doom the next big Marvel villain, because he should be. Like, it should be Dr. Doom, it should be Galactus, like, it should be something that big needs to be
something fantastic.
Because remember, traditionally, Dr. Doom is a villain for Fantastic Four, for Spider-Man, for and we have both the X-Men and the Fantastic Four coming in the Marvel Universe soon, so I think there's plenty of time to sidestep the Kang of it all, and I think they bumbled the Kang introduction anyway.
Yeah, they kind of did. And they honestly, because I finished Loki season 2 recently, and I felt like it
everyone
kind of
loved that season, but like outside of the last episode, I was just kind of meh on
I thought the first couple episodes were strong. I liked oh boy, his name is eluding me. Short Round. I loved him, dude. I thought his presence. Yes, his presence was terrific in the show and everything.
As Ouroboros.
Yes. Yeah. So was that a comic book character?
Not that I know of. I mean, I guess it could be, but
I just thought his interplay was so funny, and the fact that they were jumping around between. And he's
that
I have
scene
met you before,
where it was Loki in the past talking to him, and
they were
Owen Wilson in the future. Really, it was really good stuff. So. So anyway, we're here to talk about the horror movies coming in 2024, and there's actually quite a few. Yeah. So
not the course of Marvel, which is what I, since Cecil and I rarely get the chance to like nerd out on some of that stuff, and he knows far more than I when it comes to comic books, and so I'm always really curious about your opinion.
So my number 10, Fuego, I am moving up one of my alternates.
I see. Okay.
Because one of them that I had on my list was just announced 2 days ago to no longer be a part of the 2024 slate.
Yep. Do you want to reveal what that was?
Yes. So at one point, there was actually at one point up to 2 days ago, we had heard that there was going to be a new Jordan Peele movie releasing during Christmas of 2024. Yep. And as of 2 days ago, or as of actually a week ago now, on the 22nd, they announced that nope, it is no longer a part of the 2024 slate.
And it really makes me wonder if that's because of another film being released on that same day that I think is going to have a lot of notoriety in and of itself that is going to pop up on my list. Nosferatu.
Oh, that's Christmas?
Also coming out Christmas, yeah. So maybe... What
an interesting choice.
Maybe they pivoted, and they were just like... But
that's Robert Eggers. Like, that's not a big blockbuster contender.
I don't know, man. His stuff is pretty esteemed at this point, especially after the
Can you imagine
the
two movies?
Man.
Oh, three movies. Yeah. 3 movies into your career, and people like are putting you up against big releases.
Yeah. Well,
but he's still an indie at heart, dude. Because The Northman was the most sort of mainstream, mainstream of his movies for sure.
Yeah, especially Nicole Kidman and
I prefer The Witch
and everything.
But I do
think
The
Witch is his best movie in
my
estimation.
Best movie.
The Lighthouse is whack.
Lighthouse is very low on my list.
I'm not super into it.
Not a big Lighthouse.
I know a lot of peeps love it. All
right,
yeah, man,
so
it makes me
I don't
wonder.
have art for this. Let me get art for this real quick while you talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things, though, that makes the pivot a little strange is because of the fact that, finished product around or anything. So, that was one that I was quite interested in, if that's what you're trying to pull right now. But, should I jump into my 10 real quick?
Yeah, you go ahead for your number 10.
Yeah, so my 10 is, it's a single syllable word, and it's the newest from M. Night Shyamalan. It's entitled Trap, and if I recall correctly, it is dated for April, but then they shifted it up. So let me just jump back to it really quick so we're not losing ratings, so to speak. Which I always think back to me and Suze when we were on Heavy Metal Television. We're losing ratings.
Dead air.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so this film was originally dated for April, but then it has since been shifted up to August. So August 2nd, M. Night Shyamalan's Trap. I don't know, anything...
Okay, hang on, wait, I do have artwork for Trap, so...
Yeah, anything that M. Night Shyamalan does, I'm intrigued about. I know you didn't like the comic adaptation of like the aging people and so on. Like you weren't so much about that. The one from this past year has actually landed on some top 10 lists. I wasn't as about it. It didn't land on either of our tops. Knock at the Door. And it was
really,
well, it didn't land on either of our top 10,
right?
And that was this year.
I didn't think it was that great.
I didn't either, but I've seen it on some noteworthy critics, favorites of the year. I didn't think it was bad, but it definitely just didn't. He's been on a little bit of a losing streak for me, recently, if I'm going to be completely fair about it.
That movie was terrible.
Yeah, and I also did not like the third in the trilogy of things, so we had, Unbreakable, and then, you had Split, and I did not like Glass very much, so, I don't know. I'm very curious about how he's gonna approach some things, and, yeah, but he's one of those filmmakers where I even find merit in, Lady in the Water, so...
I enjoy aspects of that movie as well.
Yeah, so, for that reason, man, I will most definitely always check out... I feel like Stuckman was saying something similar. He's like, even though I didn't absolutely love you know, a lot of his recent output, I will see everything that this guy puts out because of the fact that he is an auteur and he is somebody that, you know, I just am always curious what he's concocting. So.
Nope, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, so that is...
So that's my 10.
Number 10 for you, and I will load in my number 10, which I just finished here. So this one, I'm going to need you to explain, because I haven't... Yeah. So this is a trailer that they can watch right now, Out of Darkness.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This was one of my alternates. Yes, this was one of my alternates that took the place because the Jordan Peele movie disappeared. And go ahead and let everyone know what this... Because you actually saw the trailer for it before coming over.
Yeah, I thought you had done a reaction to this one, but yeah, they tossed it out recently, and so it's like prehistoric, like... 10,000, 15,000 BC. I forget specifics about it, but so there's a family that goes to this different area and they're trying to like make it their home. You know, they're obviously like nomads in said regard, and there is an apparent creature presence that is there, and so in the night it is coming and picking them off. I mean, kind of by the numbers in some regard, but the fact that it looked so well put together and compelling acting, different sort of setting, I think really helps a lot with this sort of thing. And yeah, I was really into it. They're speaking their own language, so it is going to be a subtitled sort of thing. Yeah, but...
So yeah, that's part of... I had to go based on like written descriptions of movies, and this was one of my alternates, and...
This was one of my maybes.
It moved up into my 10, so I just love a good creature movie.
I'm excited for you to watch the trailer, man, because
I'm excited to watch it too. If I am, you know, if you guys watch the top of 2023... like 5 of my 10 were creature movies, so I am a big creature movie fan, and this sounded right up my alley, so that's why it is my number 10. Shout out to Dr. Death in the chat, good to see you, and then Cinema Storms, good to see you as well. I've been working on a lot of videos, and Mad Video Gamer episode 69 is on my YouTube channel right now. All right, good for you, man. Appreciate that. So yeah, let's move on. That is my number 10 is Out of Darkness.
Yes.
And let's go ahead to your number 9, Fuego. What is that?
Yeah, so my number 9 is something we were talking off camera about with Robert the Wolfman, and because it is Blumhouse's new take on the Wolfman.
Bam.
So yeah, there was some recent recasting, and so that's the gentleman that we are seeing right there. Kristopher Abbott is the one taking over the role. He was in one of my in contention for top 10 films of the year, called Sacrifice. But yeah, he's a damn good actor, man, and I feel like he's almost got like this hairier, more grizzled look compared to Ryan Gosling, who he recently replaced for this project.
Oh, okay. This is the Ryan Gosling
yeah. So this is dated for October. Let's double check. October 25th. So like a week before Halloween, practically, is when this is still supposedly coming out with the recasting and everything.
Hey,
I have
Five Nights at Freddy's did not start shooting until February, and it came out in October.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
they have a month and a half.
Yeah, you can fast track that shizzle, man. And so, just anytime there is a new take on the transformative Wolfman, and the fact that, you know, obviously Blumhouse is associated with Universal, and so this is essentially, by way of Blumhouse, Universal's newest take on one of their most classic monsters. And you know, for that reason, man, I'm amped for this, and I'm actually more amped for this with the alteration in casting.
Hang on one second. Hang on. Hello.
Hi. What are you doing?
We're live on the channel right now.
Are you really?
Yep.
It's Sunday.
It's Saturday.
It's Saturday, yeah.
Oh.
Hi, MPH.
It is Saturday. Why are you there?
Guys, it's Marsha. Say hi, Marsha.
Marsha is being dialed in randomly. No, because tomorrow is a holiday, and I'm going to a wedding tomorrow. My singer is getting married, so yeah, we're gonna be doing that. So.
Oh. Well, congratulations on that.
I guess to Chris, sure. Yeah.
I was funny. I was just calling to see what y'all were doing tonight because I didn't know if you wanted to play video games.
Yeah, dude, I'm down to play a little bit later if that's okay with you.
Marsha recently obtained Alan Wake 2, right?
I did. I'm almost done with it. Actually, it's a super fun game, and really close to the lines of Silent Hill, but luckily for me, it's not as scary.
Oh wow! Okay,
really? Wow.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I've been meaning to get Alan Wake 2, so it's worth the money then.
100%.
Okay.
I've had so much fun playing with it. I just did the story mode because I'm a wimp and nobody sits with me when I play these games, so I don't think I would have made it through the scarier versions. But the puzzles are super fun and it's a really cool story. There's a few scenes that I thought of you, Cecil. Actually, I'm like, Cecil would love this. So
I know you were complimenting the music, right?
So yeah, definitely get the game. It's awesome.
All right, I definitely will. So yeah, no, I reached out, just so the audience knows, I reached out to Marsha because months and months ago we were doing irregular Let's Plays of It Takes Two, and we never finished the game.
Oh man!
So Marsha and I we need to finish that game.
Right,
it's a lot of fun. It's really cool. We just got busy and never got around to finishing it. So we plan to do that, and then Marsha, there's another game that I think we should try together called Lethal Company. Have you heard of that game at all?
No, I haven't.
Okay, look up some Let's Plays of it, but it is the hot thing right now where you play people in like suits and you have to infiltrate a building where there are all kinds of crazy monsters that can attack you at any moment.
Oh gosh, that sounds incredible.
yeah, it's right up our alley. So yeah, look up Lethal Company and I'll be in touch after we're done streaming.
All right, well have fun.
All right, stay scared.
Stay scared.
Later, Gator.
Bye, Marsha.
Bye.
There you go,
well,
guys.
that was opportune, and you know,
yeah.
even the response in the chat, Marsha.
Yeah, so when Marsha calls, I answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yes, sorry to interrupt you on that.
No, totally all right. So I had just completed Wolfman. So what's your number 9?
Okay, so yeah, getting into my number 9. Let me make sure I have the correct order. Yeah, so my number 9. Let me delete this Blumhouse thing.
Mm-hmm.
My number 9 is going to be a horror adjacent movie. You might call it family horror, and that's going to be Beetlejuice 2. So I am very interested in this film.
This is a good segue because it's my next one.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, Beetlejuice 2, because I absolutely adore the original. Who doesn't? I mean, it's one of Michael Keaton's best roles. Winona Ryder cutting her teeth, really kicking ass. Yeah. The mom from Home Alone, Catherine O'Hara, right?
Yeah,
she is supremely funny.
Too, right?
Yeah, Alec Baldwin and a couple of other really classic. Richard. What's the dude's name?
Was it Greco?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's one of those, but yeah, so everyone in this movie was awesome. The effects were awesome. It was Tim Burton, wasn't it?
Correct.
And Tim Burton returns to do Beetlejuice 2. So this is one that could easily turn into a most disappointing if we were to do such a list.
Yeah.
Because I have very high hopes for all the talent that are reconvening. Yeah. And Winona, of course, hot off of a number of things, including Stranger Things. Also
the implementation, and so this is my 8, everybody. So I think we can just kind of veer right into it. So this is my 8 because of the fact that
wait, your 8. Well, what was your 9? Did we get to your 9?
Yeah, my 9 was Wolfman.
Oh, okay. We're already okay. Yeah. Sorry, you're leading off. That's right.
Yeah.
I thought, operating under the I went first.
Yeah. So what gives me hope about this actually is I liked Peregrine. I liked some of these later films.
Miss Peregrine. I never saw that actually.
Eva Green, she's great in it, man. You know. But like people have been kind of down on Burton for a while until Wednesday. Yeah. And Wednesday,
everyone's
especially.
Like, oh yeah, where did Tim Burton go all these years?
Yeah, you're like, oh, he's been making things. Big Eyes, Peregrine. Yeah, I mean, he's still been working. You know, the remake of Dark Shadows. You know, which I actually like.
No, Big Wolf.
You know, the tone was weird at times, but
Big Wolf.
You know, the big crossover. Successful potential for this, in my estimation, is because you know who's playing Winona Ryder's daughter. Wednesday herself.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so that's the big selling point, and I would imagine they're gonna pretty much.
Why am I blanking on her name? God, I've got old person brain.
Yeah. So they're most definitely gonna push all of the marketing to be about Jenna Ortega, especially with her leaving Scream and all that different stuff.
That's a whole other shit show.
Yeah, that is a shit show with Christopher Landon leaving. Yeah, they don't even have a director, right? It's bad. Anyway, but yeah, Beetlejuice 2 is my number 8 because of the fact that I have almost like reinstilled hope. After watching Wednesday, I don't think I liked it quite as much as you did, but
I did enjoy it.
I really dug it, and I'm just like, okay, Burton working with Netflix again, working with such a talented cast. They've been trying to make this forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was going to be like Beetlejuice in Hawaii or some sort of
Well, that was way back then.
Yeah, way back then. They've been talking about making a second Beetlejuice movie for decades at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they finally got it done, man, I'm hoping they finally got it done because Keaton is having a little bit of a resurgence. I mean, stretching all the way back to Birdman, and I'm,
playing Batman again.
Yeah, playing Batman again. Yeah, true. And so I'm very much about this. I'm really very much in your camp where if it sucks, I'm going to be super disappointed. Because,
yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
So that's definitely an aspect to keep in mind.
All right, so that is my number 9, your number 8, which leads to my number 8, which
Correct.
is going to be the untitled Radio Silence creature feature.
Oh, it was in contention for mine. Yeah.
So these are the actors that have been announced so far playing the main characters of said creature feature. And guys, Radio Silence is the filmmaking company behind Ready or Not and Scream 5 and 6.
Correct.
And they hopped off of Scream 7 because I feel like they felt like their story they told as much as they wanted to.
And they kind of had, and that's where I just really wonder if Scream 7 is cursed at this particular point.
It does feel that way. Yeah. But the point is the talent has proven itself 3 times over at this point. And
Easily,
and it felt fresh, right? All of it felt fresh. Scream 5 less so than Scream 6. Yeah. Ready or Not more so than any of the others.
You know how much I love Samara Weaving.
Oh my god, she's amazing. And so to see their take on a creature feature makes me super excited.
It does.
So that's why it's on my list at number 8. Even though we don't have any knowledge about the story.
It's even untitled. We don't have enough friggin'
no
name
title.
for this yet.
We don't have any idea about the story, but that's how much I trust these filmmakers.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited, so that's why it's my number 8.
Yeah, and the fact that it's dated, like already set up and everything for, let's just double check. Radio Silence's untitled monster movie, April 19th. So there you go. It's already dated, and I think it's in post if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see how it is.
Indeed. All right. Yeah. So, Fuego, what is your number 7?
My number 7 is, this one goes to 11, because Saw going to 11, X1, they're being very mysterious with the marketing campaign right now, despite the fact that they dropped, some of this artwork and, just showing the fact that this
with the popularity of Saw X and Tobin Bell and Billy coming back, like, there's no way they don't stick with that. It made
total sense. And also, the Saw, approach was always almost like what they were doing with Paranormal Activity for a while as well, where we're going to release one every year, and
we'll fold them into the story however we can.
Yeah.
Because later entries of Paranormal Activity like slide into
March 1
in between other movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, Saw X kicked ass. It was in my tops of the year, and not top 5. More so on the other side of things.
I was surprised about that. To be honest with you.
Yeah. But it's because of the fact that the franchise was like enamored to me when I watched all of those very recently.
They're really fun to watch back to back. Or as close to as you can get.
Yeah, well, and especially because of the fact that the first 3 all connect very seamlessly, and then the latter
second 3
ones.
The second trilogy does as well.
Second trilogy. I don't like the final chapter that much. The one
I like it because of the big compound kill that they have in there.
Is that the one at the very beginning?
The one where it's got like the car and it's like 5 people.
Yeah, you also
Chester
have
Bennington.
Chester,
right?
yeah, Chester. Rest peacefully, homie. Yeah, man, I am at this point like reinvigorated with interest for Saw because the Jigsaw, Spiral, they were just okay, but this really just seemed to me like
the
a
best
franchise
entry in a long time.
Yeah, it's a franchise like refinding its footing, and I hate to use the term like refinding, like finding it once again.
But the problem is it finds its footing once again, but it doesn't feel like it's a story that they can really expand much on because it's so one-off.
That's a valid point too.
Now they're going to have to figure out a way to crowbar Tobin Bell back into these, because making him the central figure was one of the reasons why the movie was so good.
Well, I actually don't know if that's going to be the case or not, right? You know, they've given donuts for story.
Well, that's true. Right? That's true. But I mean, so is that what we're going to do? We're just going to get the mid-adventures of Jigsaw, and we know there's never any stakes for him because he's never going to have anything happen.
Spoilers, they did show Homie from 4 through whatever
Detective Pouty Lips,
at the very end. So I don't know if they would. That's funny. But yes, Saw 11, man, I'm very excited for it. I hope it can continue this return to form for them.
All right. Well, the next one for me is going to be the third in a rapid trilogy, and that is going to be Maxine. By Ty West.
On my list as well.
So, this one is, again, this comes after X and Pearl, which was a prequel to X.
I'm trying to remember which you preferred.
I preferred X by a long shot. I mean, they were both really good, but in different ways.
Drastically different films from like a filmmaking aesthetic standpoint.
X is my favorite, though, and I think Maxine feels like... I heard Maxine is supposed to be sort of a different vibe than both of the first ones.
It's kind of trying to go for like 80s sleaze, like kind of she's trying to make her way in LA and everything.
It feels like it's going for kind of a Maniac sort of vibe, you know what I mean? Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. And all right, so Maxine is definitely for me. Dude, that actress Mia Goth stole my heart in 2023. Like, she was so amazing. Or which one was X and Pearl? Was that 2022? So 2022. She stole my heart. Yeah, as a wonderful actress. Like, that's what I mean. Like, not in a gross way.
Yeah, she returned to her insanity with Infinity Pool.
I didn't watch
because she had been playing nothing but crazy characters in my estimation leading up to that. You know, like the Gore Verbinski film that is eluding me as far as title goes.
That's the Cure for Wellness, wasn't it?
Cure for Wellness, yes. Wacky movie. Anyway.
That was like 10 years ago, wasn't it?
It's creeping up on that, Good
Lord. She's been in the game for a while.
Maya's the time flown.
All right, so, yes, Maxine. That's
and I'll get back to it in a moment and just give some brief thoughts myself. But...
All right, cool. So I won't delete it then.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your next one?
My next one is a film that I have been just anxious to see because of the fact that it has not been on our side of the festival circuit. I think they had it at like the New York Horror Festival, a few other different things, but this is a Desmalchin film called Late Night with the Devil.
You mentioned this, and I almost I wanted to
aspects of the Demeter film, and he's done. I mean. Man, Dark Knight, like in smaller roles, he's really stood out.
Oh, dude, I mean, Polka Dot Man.
That too.
On the Suicide Squad.
Smaller roles where he stood out, but I love seeing him.
In Ant-Man, he played, the guy talking about
this
Baba
is
Yaga.
The work of gypsies.
Baba Yaga.
No, he's amazing, man. He can be funny. He can be very startlingly dramatic, and this film is
Boogeyman, right? You mentioned it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so this is like concept-wise, this is Late Night with the Devil. This is essentially a 70s set late night exorcism sort of scenario, and it takes
so it's not a talk show?
No, it's a talk show where he is there, and there's supposed to be a girl who is possessed, and then the entire scenario takes a turn for the worse.
That's so cool.
And it's low budge, but just like very graphic and visceral, from what I understand from the few things that I've read, without trying to spoil things for myself too much, man. And yeah, he's a guy who thinks it's kind of an act, and then it turns for the worse, and for the worse, and it just keeps amplifying. And yeah, this is a movie that's been on my radar for a very long time. Kevin Smith sung the praises of this film.
Shit, Michael M. Late Night with the Devil was amazing. I saw it at Overlook.
Yeah.
And David was there. That's awesome, Michael.
Yeah, dude. I've heard
See, that makes me excited even more so.
I've heard great things about this movie, and I
love low budget. I gotta be honest. I love low budget, high concept devil movies.
Yes.
I Trapped the Devil is always going to be one I go back to.
No doubt.
I forgot that, and I want to rewatch it. I want to show Morgan. I don't think she's seen it. I absolutely loved I Trapped the Devil. I loved Devil, the elevator movie. Like, I love movies to do with, like, where it's the devil doing something on a, like, tangible level.
Yeah.
But, like, not quite in your face Tim Curry legend devil. You know what I mean?
Which I like as well. You know,
for a different purpose. Yeah,
exactly.
For a different purpose.
But, man, the art of subtlety, when it is just executed so captivatingly, like, shit, dude, there's nothing like it.
Agreed. 100%. So, Late Night with the Devil, fantastic choice. That leads to my number 6, which is definitely going to be questionable for some, I'm sure. But I can't lie, I'm so excited about Imaginary from Blumhouse. And
this is the bear one, right?
This is the well, I mean, not just bear. It talks about how there's multiple imaginary, like, if you have an imaginary friend that you've left behind, it goes crazy. And so it's about the idea that imaginary friends can go crazy.
I actually haven't even watched the trailer for this too.
Really? Oh my god, the trailer's so good. All right, we gotta watch afterwards, because I was so excited after watching the trailer. And then they also released a trailer for a movie. No, it's all. Well, I don't know. I gotta double check. It might be, because it's Blumhouse. But they then a few weeks later released a trailer for If, which is John Krasinski's imaginary friend family movie, where the imaginary friends have been left behind and they just want to find new people to be imaginary friends for. This is the horror version of it. And then I come to find out that Tim Seeley, the creator of Hack Slash in the comic book universe, wrote a 6-issue Imaginary Friends comic book where what if the imaginary friends started to kill people too?
It reminded me of Hack Slash. What was that about?
It was Cassie Hack, a teenage girl with a baseball bat with nails in it, and her zombie cohort Vlad. And they would seek out slashers and kill them.
It was one you recommended to me.
Yep. So Imaginary, it's basically what if Drop Dead Fred became a murder machine and had special powers, and like that to me sold it. I was like, that's fucking dope. Like, I really want to show you the trailer right now, but it'll get this video demonetized for sure.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, Out of Darkness was a trailer that I wanted you to watch too.
Yeah, we'll watch them both afterwards then. Well, I mean, I want to save Out of Darkness for a reaction, because we haven't done that yet. But yeah, so Imaginary, it's a little girl that gets a list from Chauncey, the bear, and she basically has to check off the scavenger hunt, and it gets crazy. And then things happen where there's a kid that, like, the bear is under a blanket in the hallway, and it starts, like, moving towards him, and it turns out he's standing on the pull string, and what happens right after that, it's just really dope. Like, I'm super excited about Imaginary. What if imaginary friends turned crazy murderer and had, like, special powers? Like, I love that idea for a concept. I am a sucker for gimmicks in movies.
As a kid?
I did not. I did not.
Yeah,
no.
I didn't either.
But I don't begrudge anyone that did, of course.
Definitely not.
But I love gimmick movies, especially when they're done well.
Yeah.
And so this is specifically that kind of film.
There's no problem with a gimmick when it's done well.
Exactly.
You know, when it
exactly.
Is, you know,
that's why I'll watch Elevator Game, Friendship Game.
Yeah.
You know, like all of these, like Wish Upon, you know, like gimmick movies.
Did you watch the Red Letter Media guys tear Wish Upon apart?
I did.
Funny.
No, I love gimmick movies, and Imaginary feels like a gimmick movie, but it feels like a smart one. It's like, why haven't we seen this story before? Yeah. And I love that kind of thing.
Yeah, and when there's that little variance, sometimes that makes all the difference, man. You know?
Thank you, Sophia. We'll always support this channel. They're one of the best. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Gracias. Appreciate it.
All right, so yes, Imaginary was my number. Was that 7 or 6?
We are at 1, 2,
that was my
3,
number 6.
4. Yep. So this is my 5.
Okay.
And this is one that has been delayed a little bit, unfortunately, but it is now scheduled to be released on. I'm just trying to double check. So yeah, prime time, man. June 28th, 2024. We are talking A Quiet Place, Day 1.
Yes.
Yeah, and I loved Pig, the previous film that was done by the director, which was a Nicolas Cage film that was very heartfelt and, you know, kind of emotive, and I don't know. I feel like the humanity aspect that was prevalent in that film is hopefully going to, transmit its way into his production of this. We know that this is actually kind of a prequel side story. So if I recall correctly, we're not going to have Emily Blunt. We're not going to have Krasinski.
Right.
You know, it's going to be its own sort of thing. But I think it's a rich enough universe where it doesn't really matter if we have the loss of those characters. But then again, it was very similar to the Bird Box universe anyway, which some people have been a little critical of. So I'm stoked for this film, man. I just really hope it's good. But I think it's got so much directorial potential from the fact that I love Pig so much. So.
Yeah, I'll talk about this in a little bit myself.
Yeah, nice.
All right, so my number 5 is going to be a sequel that shouldn't surprise anyone considering how much money the first one made in 2022, and that is Smile 2.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed Smile, and especially the fact that there was this enormous, really cool practical creature at the end of the film.
You have a bit of a connection
with
the
and
creator.
It just so turns out
cool.
that the person that sculpted said multi-mouthed creature also sculpted our Freddy for Dylan's New Nightmare. Shout out to Mikey Rotella.
Yeah.
Amazingly talented gentleman. And so Smile did so well, made over $100 million.
It was originally going to be dumped on streaming.
It was going to be dumped on streaming, but it did so well. And it was well done. It was really well deserved. Such a fun movie. And so I'm excited to see what they can do for a sequel. Again, I know sequels rarely live up to the original, but it doesn't mean I don't have hopes.
Different lead and everything, so
it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited, but that's good. A new story. Give us a new story.
Yeah.
And I'm down for that.
Yeah, it almost has and this was in direct contention to be in my 10. This one feels like it could be an anthology sort of situation because of the aspect of the lore of passing things on, and it makes me wonder, man, I didn't even double check if there are any returning people from the previous film or if it's just
I didn't check either,
clean slate sort of situation. But yeah, the original Smile was damn good, man, and I was very impressed with it, and it hit me so much more so, and that and When Evil Lurks are some of the only films I've watched recently where they were just jaw-dropping messed up situations where it's just shit. Okay. All right. Yeah, bring it, guys. So, yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. But there you go. That's my number 5 is Smile 2. Your number 4?
Jumping into my number 4, we talked about it already, Maxine. Maxine, Triple X Maxine. So she's in
Max 666.
Yeah. So she's in Los Angeles. Our character from the first film,
Mia Goth.
Mia Goth playing this character, and so she's no longer in Texas now. She's in Los Angeles, and she's trying to make a name for herself because remember, she's looking in the mirror and I'm supposed to be a star and all that different stuff.
It's like Pearl.
Yeah, and it really makes me wonder where the carnage is going to come from because of the fact that she was terrorized by old people. So is this going to be that Giallo situation like you mentioned where maybe a man tries to go after her, or is she going to take an evil turn herself?
I think she's the villain.
Oh, okay. Well then, hey,
I think for sure she's the villain.
Yeah. Well, this sort of situation, we'll figure it out. Once we finally get the chance to see it. It's not been directly dated yet, but Ty West has said that it's in post. There's really
he did 2 movies in 2022. He can do 1 movie for 2024.
Yeah, easily, man. And the fact that they got it all entirely shot, and the fact that it's in the editing process right now, even though it doesn't have a specific date as of this particular point, I don't think there's much way in hell that we don't see this, here in this particular year in 2024, which is what we are approaching. So, yeah.
All right, that leads me to my number 4, which is going to be Return to Silent Hill.
Yeah.
So Return to Silent Hill
is
an interesting one. Isn't it the original director?
I believe so.
Yeah, it's the director from the original 2 films coming back and doing more in his Silent Hill universe. Now, I don't know if it's meant to be another reboot, but since it's the same director, I'm guessing not entirely.
Yeah.
But I am always excited to hear about a new Silent Hill production. Even though I never played any of the games, I'm very excited for the Silent Hill 2 remake that they're doing along the lines of the Resident Evil games that they've done.
Yeah, and that's
because I never played them, and I will be playing them. And Marcia loves Silent Hill. So
and I
she'll
think
too. But
and I think Resident Evil kind of overshadowed Silent Hill over the years.
I think for a good reason, but that's just me. I never went through the Silent Hill franchise, so I didn't
either. Yeah, I was a Resident Evil guy.
But I loved the first 2 movies for Silent Hill. I thought they were really a lot of fun. The Pyramid Head stuff is really cool. There's strengths in both movies, and they're both enjoyable for different reasons. And I am just excited to return to the Silent Hill universe and especially if it's the same director with a 2023 eye. Yeah. Like, I'm really interested to see what that looks like nowadays.
I still remember rewatching the second one when we were all vacationing for a convention.
In the hotel room. That's what I think of, too.
You and me and Susie watched it, and we were... and Marcia
this was good. Yeah.
I was like, damn, this is way better than I remembered it actually being. So it was one of those situations. But...
And I'm excited, and obviously Pyramid Head is back from the artwork that we've got.
Yeah.
So return to Silent Hill. That is my number 4 most anticipated for 2024.
Awesome.
Fueguísimo.
So my number 3 is a film that has kind of pushed Jordan Peele aside as far as the Christmas release. I don't know, but there's some serious star power involved in this latest version of Nosferatu. And Robert Eggers directing. You have Willem Dafoe as our vampire hunter of sorts. You've got
Dafoe is the hunter.
Dafoe is the hunter.
Right.
Yeah. And then you have the
because Dafoe already played Nosferatu.
In
Shadow of the Vampire.
Yeah, great movie by the way. If you guys haven't checked it out. And then you have Bill Skarsgård. He's taking on another iconic role after trying to
Pennywise.
Clown. Yeah. Now he's playing maybe the most iconic vampire ever. So you've got that. I'm a little less excited about Johnny Depp's daughter, as
Lily Rose Depp.
I mean, she's not bad, man. I didn't watch the show where
I
heard
didn't
it was
either.
very exploitative of her. Yeah. Kevin Smith was like saying that his daughter was like, "Don't watch it, Dad. You're gonna feel uncomfortable." But aside from Lily, Shizzle, man, I'm so stoked about this because Robert Eggers is still 2 for 3 with me. I didn't like The Lighthouse, which we talked about earlier, but The Witch is exceptional in my opinion.
Yeah, The Witch is great.
And The Northman is really damn good, especially from a stylistic standpoint.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I feel like this is an IP or just a name in general. As far as story goes, that really fits his sort of gothic approach, and for that reason, man, I'm so excited about this.
Yeah. I'm interested. It didn't make my list because I just liked other things more, but I'm definitely interested to see Bill Skarsgård's version, and Willem Dafoe is always a scenery chewer. Robert Eggers, again, he's not always for me, but I respect the style, so I'm always willing to give it a shot.
Yeah, always from a stylistic standpoint, man. And Dafoe just, like, this past year reaffirmed how awesome he is to me, because, so Inside is not a movie that made my list as far as, like, best of the year. It's about this, like, guy who breaks into this rich condo and gets trapped in there, and the family is on vacation, and so he's stuck in there and he's gonna die, and it's it's such a great movie, man. And then obviously Poor Things as well was another one where he's got all these cool prosthetics and stuff. So Dafoe is exceptional in everything, so bring him on as the Anthony Hopkins sort of stand-in vampire killer.
All right. So there you go. That is Fuego's number 3, which leads to my number 3, which is appropriately Terrifier 3. So I'm excited about this because I like seeing the evolution of Damien Leone and Art the Clown, and like his creation from the ground up, a character from an anthology film that's grown into having its own slasher franchise that's just gotten bigger with every installment. Terrifier 2, again, it's not cinematic gold, but it is so much fun for what it is, and it really upped the quality from 1 to 2. It definitely upped the length a little unnecessarily.
Like 2.5 hours.
But the quality is much better. The story I cared about a lot more. The characters were a lot better. So I enjoyed the film more. and I'm excited to see where this evolution goes. And I'm a big fan of holiday-themed horror, and he's moving Terrifier from a Halloween idea to a Christmas idea for the third film. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot for me to be personally excited about. Also, the fact that they're keeping it indie. They had studios reach out, but none of the studios were willing to do the craziness that Damien had in mind. So he said, okay, we'll just do it ourselves like we have the other ones. We made enough money with a theatrical release of 2 that we're going to do it how we want. And also
the crowdfund for 3, too. I saw that.
Oh, they did a crowdfund for 3?
I think they did, didn't they?
I don't think they did a crowdfund for 3. No, I think they just did the crowdfund for 2 and blew everyone's expectations out of the water.
Yeah.
So either way, I am really excited about Terrifier 3. I want to see Christmas Art the Clown. And I'm a sucker for Art. I love Art. I think he's one of the best slashers since Freddy and Chucky, because he's got so much personality without having to say a word.
Yeah,
and I really enjoy that.
Yeah, word on that. You know, it was in contention. This was another one. And the fact that we've met David, you know, so many
David
times.
Howard amazing.
Yeah, he's great. And you know what made the second film so interesting for me, and we heard that everybody's returning, like the brother, the sister. Even Chris Jericho's coming back, you know, for whatever reason, despite his character only appearing at the very end of the film, which was kind of funny. So yeah, I'm very curious with how creative Damien was able to be with such a limited budget in the previous film. I can only imagine, you know, what he's gonna concoct as far as craziness goes for this upcoming feature.
Exactly.
Yeah, big time.
So there you go. That's why Terrifier 3 is my number 3.
Yes.
Fueguissimo, your number 2.
Okay, so my number 2 is one where it's a maybe, because there's no reason why this film will not be coming out this upcoming year. It is the newest, directed by Mike Flanagan. It has a stellar cast, including Tom Hiddleston, Mark Hamill, but The Life of Chuck was, in my estimation, the personal standout from If It Bleeds, which was the most recent 4 novella collection that Cy King put out. And you guys know, 300 something episodes of Hail to Stephen King on this channel over the years and stuff. And so this is one that is not so much of the supremely horrific variety, aside from the first act. And the first act, like, coming out in 2020 with it's a world-ending scenario, okay? And then we trace back the steps of this particular character, and it's fascinating in that regard. I cannot wait to see anything Mike Flanagan, but the fact that this was one of the most special things that I think King has written at least in the last few years, in my estimation. Oh man, I'm so pumped. And just the cast has lots of other, peeps from Hill House and, various other things that he's done. But dude, I can't wait to see this, and I feel like there's no better hand, aside from maybe Frank Darabont or Rob Reiner, to adapt anything Cy King, but especially of how heartfelt of a variety that this story is, man. I mean, it's gut-wrenching, it's heartwarming, it just goes all over the place. It's so great. Boy, I hope Flaney gives it justice. This would be another one where if it's not exceptional, I will be very disappointed. But I mean, Dr. Sleep, Gerald's Game, he has a, in my estimation, perfect track record when it comes to the King stuff. And so yeah, right, bring it, man, bring it.
All right, so that's Fuego's number 2. My number 2 is going to be one that Fuego mentioned earlier, and that's The Quiet Place Day One. I love the Quiet Place movies. I definitely like one more than 2, but they're both amazing, and I love the creatures, I love the premise, I love the world, and I'm very excited to see more explored. We got a bit of Day One in part 2, so I'm excited to spend like a lot of time on Day One, because I think that there's so much raw awesomeness to be had with a story like that. And I even said with the first 2 movies, like, all I want to know is what happens 100 yards from here, and then 100 yards from there, and then 100 yards from there. Like, there's so many stories you could tell in this world that would be worth telling. Easily. And I'm very excited about more of it, let alone prequel status. Not of the characters that we know and love, but Day One stuff sounds really awesome. So yeah, Quiet Place Day One is mine, which leads us to your number 1, which also happens to be not my number 1.
Oh, so, not your number 1. Okay.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about it together. I'm assuming it's this.
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Okay. So Fuego, tell everyone what is our number one.
Oh man, so I love everything Xenomorph, dude, and all of the shared universe aspects. You know, whether it's Predator, even the Prometheus stuff. You know, I'm a big proponent of that. Although I wasn't particularly kind to Covenant, if I recall correctly. And
I enjoyed Covenant.
I need to revisit it, man. Give it another chance, dude. But
much closer to a regular Alien movie.
Yeah. But okay, so if you're gonna tell me Fede Alvarez is directing an Alien movie, and it's
Fede Alvarez, the gore hound, that's done so many cool things.
Behind the Evil Dead remake,
Evil Dead 2013,
behind what was the break-in movie? God damn it!
Don't Breathe.
Don't Breathe. Yeah, which was excellent. You know, with Stephen Lang, and so yeah, man. I'm trying to temper my enthusiasm for this because of the fact that, you know, there's also that awesome...
In Fede, I trust.
Yeah,
like, that's the way I feel
honestly
about it.
do too, man. And I like how they're saying that. So they have confirmed after an actress leaked it. So this is common knowledge at this particular point that it does take place between 1 and 2.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah. So that's the timeline setting. But seriously, man, I mean, the fact that even the Dark Horse like anthology stuff was so terrifically done, whether it was, you know, just like single one-shot sort of things, or, you know, some of those, you know, in expansions on the storytelling where they did like pseudo sequels to, you know, 2 before it was all retconned and they had to change the names of everybody. Like, dude, I love this universe. I find it fascinating, all the Weyland-Yutani stuff. And I would imagine that they're going to be exploring that here because of the fact that, you know, taking place between 1 and 2, where the company knows very well what, as far as like a presence they could weaponize, and yeah, man, I just Fede directing this particular property just excites me beyond anything that I could gush about properly. So
yeah, I'm very excited as well. I'm a big fan of Fede's work. I'm a big fan of the Alien franchise, especially when it's done well.
Yeah,
and
doesn't always happen.
I'm very excited. I loved the last Predator outing in Prey.
Yeah,
and so I actually have high hopes. I think they have found the right people to have the franchises for now. And you know, hopefully Fede doesn't prove me wrong, but I don't feel like he will. I'm very excited, and I know he won't shy away from the gore of it all. So I'm very pumped and very excited to see the Xenomorph raised back to the level that it once was in the horror community.
Yeah, and I'm also glad that they're putting this out theatrically compared to Prey giving the disservice of being just right to Hulu, because that is a film that I would have loved to have seen on a big ass screen, dude. You know, this one is going to be hitting theaters, if I double check, August 16th. So mark the calendars, everybody.
There you go.
Yeah.
So there you go, guys. That is everything regarding our top 10 most anticipated horror movies of 2024. Why don't you guys let us know in the comments down below, what are your most anticipated horror movies? Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to all of the people that are participating with the comments live. We greatly appreciate you, and we also greatly appreciate the Patreon supporters that we have.
Indeed.
Thank you guys very much for all that you do for the channel.
Yeah.
Fuego, any final thoughts on what you're on the 2024 horror coming up?
Yeah, I mean, fingers firmly crossed that we have just an awesome array of things hitting our way. So yeah,
Indeed. So thanks very much, you guys. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias. I mean, Fuego.
And remember, stay